Somebody listening right now is standing at the threshold of a new life, a better life, a transformed life. But the door won't swing open by emotion, by wishing, or by waiting. The door to your destiny swings on the hinges of discipline. You've been praying for breakthrough, fasting for favor, sowing for success. But I came to tell you today that without discipline, the dream stays a fantasy. 1 hour a day, that's all it takes to begin to shift the trajectory of your entire existence. Let me teach this so you catch it deep in your spirit. Discipline is not punishment, it's alignment. When you dedicate just 1 hour every day, 60 minutes, 600 seconds, the focused improvement, you are not losing time, you are investing it. You are commanding the day. You're telling your future, I will not drift. I will direct. And most people live reactive lives. They wake up responding to alarms, to texts, to problems, to pressure. But when you set aside 1 disciplined hour, you move from reaction to intention. You carve out sacred space for purpose. You take the pen back from life and begin to write your own story. Now hear me. Destiny is not something that just descends from the heavens. Destiny is built in the quiet, unseen hours when nobody's clapping, nobody's watching, and nobody's validating you. That 1 hour of reading, studying, training, praying, journaling, building. Whatever aligns with your purpose isn't just activity. It's construction. You are building the framework for the life God designed for you. But it will not be unlocked without the key of discipline. People want success like a miracle. They want healing like magic. But there is a law to greatness, and that law is discipline. The same way, the body transforms after consistent workouts. The mind transforms after consistent study. The gift transforms after consistent practice. And the spirit transforms after consistent devotion. What if I told you that your life could look completely different 12 months from now with just 1 hour of focused discipline every day? That's 365 hours. That's over 2 weeks of full-time investment into your future self. Do you know what a focused man or woman can build in 365 hours? You could learn a new skill, start a business, write a book, learn a language, lose weight, build a brand, memorize scripture, heal your heart, repair your marriage, reignite your faith. But it takes discipline, and discipline doesn't feel good. It doesn't shout. It doesn't make headlines. It doesn't go viral. It whispers. It gets up when nobody else does. It practices when others play. It says no when others say yes. And it doesn't beg for reward. It trusts the process because it knows the process always pays. Some of you are crying over stagnation. But stagnation is not the absence of opportunity. It's the absence of discipline. You got the talent. You got the dream, you even got the word, but you've got to do the work. Talent without discipline is wasted potential. Calling without discipline is spiritual frustration. Even Jesus went through seasons of preparation. 40 days in the wilderness, early mornings in prayer, years in obscurity before ministry. He understood something we must learn. Preparation is not delay, it's design. When you give God 1 hour a day of focus, you are saying, Lord, I value the life you gave me. I will not squander it in distraction. I will not bury it in excuses. I will not spend it all on scrolling, entertainment, or anxiety. I will invest it. And let me tell you, God honors discipline. God promotes preparation. God elevates the diligent. God blesses the consistent, and let's talk real for a moment. Excuses feel good. They comfort you when discipline demands more from you. But excuses don't build legacies. Excuses don't leave inheritance. Excuses don't fulfill callings. That hour you say you don't have, you've spent it before. You've spent it on TV. You've spent it on social media. You've spent it worrying. It's not that you don't have time. It's that you haven't prioritized it. Change starts when you say, no more excuses, just 1 hour. Don't start with 10 hours a day. Start with one sacred, focused, protected hour. Wake up earlier, stay up later, block it off Guard it with your life, because it is giving you one. That hour is your ladder out of mediocrity. That hour is your testimony in the making. And when you feel tired, remember this. Discipline is proof that you believe in your future. Every day you honor that 1 hour, you are honoring the person you're becoming. You're telling heaven, I'm serious, I'm ready, I'm available. And let me tell you, when preparation meets opportunity, destiny erupts. So don't wait for life to change. Change your discipline, and life will follow. Give 1 hour to the dream, the gift, the purpose God placed inside you. And if you do it day after day, week after week, month after month, one day you'll look back and realize that 1 hour didn't just change your schedule, it changed your life. Everything in your life is responding to what you feed it. Your mind, your habits, your spirit, your fears, your faith. They are all growing based on what you give your time, attention, and energy to. We often ask God to change our lives, but God is saying, I've given you the power to grow what you need. You just have to feed it. You can't expect peace while feeding your mind chaos. You can't expect clarity while constantly ingesting confusion. And you cannot expect to walk in purpose while feeding yourself distractions every day. Listen to me. Whatever you nourish multiplies. Whatever you invest your energy in becomes stronger, louder, and more dominant in your life. Whether that thing is positive or poisonous depends entirely on your choices. Now, let's get educational with this truth. The human brain is built to reinforce patterns. That means what you repeatedly expose yourself to, what you read, watch, hear, and speak, starts forming neurological pathways. In plain terms, your brain starts automating what you feed it most. If you feed it fear, it will automate anxiety. If you feed it faith, it will automate resilience. If you feed it junk, you'll be overwhelmed by confusion. But if you feed it focus, you'll see results. That's why that 1 hour a day is so powerful. It's not just about activity, it's about input. What are you putting into yourself every day? What are you teaching your spirit to crave? If all you feed your soul is social media and gossip, don't be surprised when you feel insecure, confused, or dissatisfied with your life. But when you feed your soul with scripture, wisdom, books, discipline, and stillness, you start seeing life from a higher place. See, the garden of your life is not dead. It just hasn't been watered. Your potential is not gone. It's just malnourished. It's not that the dream was too small, it's that the distractions were too big. You gave time to everything but the thing that mattered. You fed fear when you should have fed your faith. You fed comparison when you should have fed your creativity. You fed laziness when you should have fed your leadership. And now, you're frustrated not because you lack power, but because you fed the wrong thing. I feel the Spirit of God calling somebody back to the table of purpose. It's time to stop feeding your weakness and start feeding your strength. It's time to give your gift the nourishment it needs. That means turning off noise so you can hear wisdom. That means creating space for learning, reflection, and development. That means choosing food for your soul, not candy for your ego. Don't miss this. Everything healthy starts small. The seed is not the tree, but if you feed it, it becomes one. The discipline you start today may seem small, but if you feed it every day for a year, it becomes a harvest of success. The idea you wrote down may seem foolish, but if you feed it with research, time, and effort, it becomes a business, a movement, a ministry. You're not seeing results because you keep planting but not feeding. Starting is not enough. Sustaining is where the miracle happens. You keep looking for fruit, but God is looking for farmers, and farmers don't just sow. They water, they till, they weed, they protect. You don't just need motivation. You need management. That means managing your time, your mind, your schedule, your conversations. Because if it's feeding you, it's forming you. If it's feeding your purpose, embrace it. If it's feeding your fear, eliminate it. Let's get even more practical. Ask yourself this. What did I feed myself today? Did I feed my mind with wisdom? Did I feed my gift with practice? Did I feed my spirit with prayer or scripture? Or did I feed my emotions with doubt, negativity, and other people's drama? You can't keep feeding your future with yesterday's habits and expect a new outcome. I challenge you, 1 hour a day. Feed something worth growing. Feed your business idea. Feed your spiritual life. Feed your health. Feed your family with quality time. Feed your identity with truth, not trends, because the world will feed you fast food for the mind if you don't choose your own diet. And fast food might satisfy your craving, but it won't sustain your calling. There is greatness in you, but it's starving for attention. There is brilliance in you, but it's hungry for development. There is healing in you, but it needs to be fed with forgiveness, not bitterness. Don't let your best self die of starvation while your distractions grow obese with your time. That hour a day, that's your feeding time. That's your growth hour. That's your power meal. And don't let anyone tell you it's not working just because it's not visible yet. Roots grow down before fruit grows up. You may not be seen, but you are still growing. Just keep feeding the right things. Keep feeding the truth. Keep feeding your discipline. Keep feeding your vision. And in due time, what you fed in secret will flourish in public. So I leave you with this. Check your diet. Check what you're feeding and why, because whatever you feed, whether fear or faith, confusion or clarity, weakness or strength, that's what will flourish. There are some chains that don't break in a single prayer session. There are some curses that don't leave with one shout. There are some generational patterns, some cycles, some strongholds that only fall when you show up day after day with consistency. You want breakthrough, you want change, you want freedom. It's going to take more than moments. It's going to take movement. We love to glorify the instant. We praise the overnight success. But real deliverance, real change, real transformation doesn't come in a flash. It comes through faithful repetition. That 1 hour a day that you show up to pray, to study, to build, to heal, to grow. That hour might seem small in the moment, but over time it becomes a weapon. It becomes a wrecking ball to every wall that's been holding you back. Let me tell you something that'll shift your mindset. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. You don't have to do everything in one day, but you do have to do something every day. Because every time you show up for yourself, for your purpose, for your calling, you are pulling on the chain, and maybe it doesn't break today. Maybe it doesn't break next week. But if you keep pulling, it will break. Many of us were born into dysfunction. You were raised in confusion. You were trained by trauma. And now you're trying to build a life that doesn't look like the one you came from. That's not going to happen by accident. You can't casually undo what was formed in you over decades with a once-in, a wild commitment. You've got to show up with a steady, determined, no matter what kind of consistency. Let's take this into the educational realm. Neuroscience shows us that your brain doesn't change just because you want it to. It changes through consistent, repeated behavior. Your habits are literally wiring your future. If you want to change how you think, feel, and act, you must repeat the right things often enough that your brain builds a new path. You're not just breaking curses in the spirit. You're rewiring yourself for greatness. That's why the 1 hour rule is so powerful. It gives you a place to build the new path. 1 hour a day, you are laying bricks. You are unlearning and relearning. You are replacing chaos with structure and weakness with strength. You may not see it today, but every hour you give to consistency is an hour of construction. You are building something. It's slow, but it's strong. See, inconsistency keeps you in cycles. It's not that you're not gifted. It's not that God hasn't called you. It's that you keep starting over. You build, then stop. You rise, then fall. You decide, then you delay. And you wonder why you're still in the same place. Because you never gave the process time to work. Consistency gives God something to bless. The enemy doesn't fear your potential. He fears your persistence. Because if you ever get consistent, if you ever start showing up every day to the assignment God gave you, if you ever start praying regularly, studying deeply, working strategically, hell will have to let go. Because consistency brings power, and power brings breakthrough. We often think curses are spooky, but some curses are just habits passed down unchallenged. Some curses are not mystical, they're behavioral. Your father didn't finish anything, and now you don't finish. Your mother doubted herself, and now you doubt. But here you are called, chosen, anointed, and God is saying, you are the one, you are the curse breaker. But hear me, you will not break it in bursts. You will break it in rhythm. What does that look like? 1 hour a day you invest in what's been neglected. 1 hour a day you speak life where death tried to settle. 1 hour a day you replace what's been rehearsed for generations. And yes, it's hard. Yes, you'll feel resistance. Yes, you'll want to quit. But every time you continue, you are pushing against the curse that tried to define your bloodline. Don't despise small beginnings. Don't underestimate slow growth. Don't reject quiet progress, because consistency might not be loud, but it is lethal. It kills excuses. It kills laziness. It kills limitation. And when you stay consistent long enough, you don't just break curses. You birth new covenants. You establish new standards. You shift atmospheres in your family. You become the one they talk about. It stopped with them. And let me give you this word. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. You will miss days. You will stumble, but get back up. Real consistency isn't never falling. It's never quitting. You keep showing up. You keep trying. You keep growing. Because even when it feels like nothing's happening, God is working in the background. And if you stay faithful, the shift will come. So don't wait for a dramatic moment to change your life. Let today be the start of your daily rhythm. Carve out that 1 hour, protect it, honor it, use it to build. Use it to grow, because the curse may have started in your past. But the blessing begins with your consistency, and I promise you, the curse will break. Everybody wants to be promoted. Everybody wants to be elevated. We want the stage, the spotlight, the success. But God is not a God of shortcuts. He is a God of structure. And in His divine order, preparation always comes before promotion. Before David wore the crown, he was in the field with sheep. Before Joseph ruled the palace, he was in the prison. Before Jesus started his ministry, he spent years in obscurity and 40 days in the wilderness. You must understand this. The stage is not where you grow, it's where you reveal what you grew in secret. Don't be so eager to get there that you skip the process meant to shape you. Promotion without preparation is dangerous. It will expose your gift, but also expose your gaps. If your character hasn't been built to hold the weight of your calling, you will crumble under the pressure of what you prayed for. That's why God, in His mercy, delays what we desire, not to punish us, but to prepare us. That 1 hour a day is not about impressing anybody. It's about preparing your soul for the next level. It's about training your mind, sharpening your gift, and developing your discipline so when the opportunity shows up, you're not scrambling, you're ready. Because here's the truth, when the door opens, it's too late to prepare. You've got to already be in motion. You've got to already be trained. You've got to already be steady in your spirit, clear in your thinking, strong in your habits. Promotion is not random. It's not just favor, it's the fruit of preparation. That's why education matters. That's why practice matters. That's why rehearsal, routine, and study matter. Because God is not just trying to give you a blessing. He's trying to give you the wisdom to manage it. The job you want, the platform you seek, the business you're building, the ministry you're called to, it all comes with weight, and God will not give you what you haven't proven you can carry. Think about it this way. A seed carries the potential of a tree. But before it ever reaches that height, it has to be buried, broken, watered, and rooted. You're asking for the tree, but you're still avoiding the soil. You're dreaming about the fruit, but you're resisting the dirt. But hear me, the deepest roots are grown in the dark. The greatest lessons are learned in the quiet seasons. And if you don't honor the preparation season, you'll sabotage your own success when it comes. We've confused visibility with value. We think being seen is the same as being ready, but listen, just because they see you doesn't mean you're ready to serve. Just because you've got talent doesn't mean you've got temperance. Just because you're gifted doesn't mean you're grounded. Promotion without process produces pride. But preparation produces humility, wisdom, endurance. And when promotion comes, you'll be able to last. Let me break this down practically. That 1 hour a day, use it to get better before you get bigger. Use it to build structure before success arrives. Use it to learn what you'll need to manage once elevation shows up. Don't just pray for open doors. Prepare for them. Read, research, practice, plan, pray, train your body, train your mind, train your spirit, because God promotes the prepared. There are people crying for opportunities they haven't prepared for. They want the microphone, but haven't mastered the message. They want the business to grow, but haven't studied the strategy. They want love, but haven't healed. But when you understand that preparation is not a delay, it's divine development, you stop resenting the wait. You start respecting the wait. This is the hour of your becoming. The stage will come. The reward will come. But right now, this is where you dig deep. This is where you rehearse when no one is clapping. This is where you study when no one is watching. This is where you get honest about your weaknesses and build the strength to overcome them. Because the battle is won before it's ever fought. It's won in the preparation. Even Jesus didn't skip preparation. The Son of God, full of power, full of purpose, still took time to pray, fast, isolate, and train. He taught in the temple at 12, but didn't begin his ministry until 30. Why? Because there's a difference between ability and appointment. God is not moved by excitement. He's moved by readiness. And when you're prepared, you don't panic when the moment comes. You don't fumble when the door opens. You don't freeze when it's your turn, because you've been faithful in the shadows. You've been steady in the small things, and now you're not stepping up in fear. You're stepping in with fire. So I came to tell somebody today, your preparation is not wasted. Your daily discipline is not ignored. Every hour you invest in your growth is pulling you closer to your moment. Keep preparing, keep studying, keep building, because when the spotlight comes, you won't be surprised. You'll be ready, and when promotion comes, it won't break you. It will reveal you. Most people misunderstand freedom. They think freedom means doing whatever you want, whenever you feel like it, with no limits and no structure. But true freedom is not the absence of restraint. It is the presence of discipline. Freedom is not chaos dressed up as choice. It is order governed by purpose. And until you embrace discipline, you will never walk in real freedom. Discipline is not bondage. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you're called to be. When you set boundaries for your time, when you set standards for your behavior, when you choose structure over spontaneity, you are not limiting yourself, you are liberating yourself. You are freeing your future from the chains of procrastination, distraction, and regret. Hear me, that 1 hour a day is not just about getting things done. It's about getting things aligned. It's not just a schedule, it's a sanctuary. A space where your flesh doesn't call the shots. A space where your excuses don't run your life. A space where your vision takes the wheel. Because every time you choose discipline, you are choosing your destiny over your feelings. The problem is we've been conditioned to chase comfort instead of calling. We've been taught that ease is the goal, that if it doesn't feel good, it must not be right. But growth lies on the other side of discomfort. And freedom doesn't come by doing what's easy. It comes by doing what's necessary. Discipline is the grind that protects the goal. Let me teach you something. Your habits are building the future you're going to live in. Every day, with every choice, you're either designing your deliverance or building your own prison. That snooze button, that skipped workout, that ignored opportunity, those are bricks. So is that hour of focus. That hour of prayer, that hour of work, of reading, of creating. You are laying bricks either way. The only question is what kind of structure you're building. People ask, how do I get free from this habit, from this mindset, from this past? The answer is not always dramatic. Sometimes it's very practical. You need a rhythm, you need discipline. You don't break strongholds with wishful thinking. You break them with a consistent decision repeated daily. You don't wake up one day and walk into greatness. You train your way into it. Freedom is not a doorway you stumble through. It's a pathway you walk with intention. Discipline says, I don't wait for motivation. I move by conviction. I don't follow feelings. I follow focus. I don't react to the day. I command it. And when you start operating like that, something shifts. You stop being a slave to your moods. You stop being tossed by distractions. You start building the kind of life that doesn't need rescuing every month. That's what discipline gives you: stability, maturity, mastery. And let me say this clearly. Discipline is not just for monks, CEO, or elite athletes. Discipline is for anybody who's tired of being stuck. It's for the single mother trying to rebuild. It's for the student trying to succeed. It's for the dreamer who's been delaying. It's for the person who knows there's more in them, but keeps getting derailed. If that's you, your freedom won't come from another motivational quote. It will come from a structured commitment to show up daily. Start with 1 hour. Just 1 hour where the world doesn't get your time, your phone doesn't get your attention, and your fears don't get the mic. In that hour, you take ownership. You move the needle. You build. You grow. You pray. You plan. You execute. And over time, that discipline compounds. That 1 hour becomes a new standard. That new standard becomes a new lifestyle. That new lifestyle becomes freedom, because when you're disciplined, you're not easily distracted. When you're disciplined, you're not easily discouraged. When you're disciplined, you're not waiting for perfect conditions. You create them. You don't need someone else to validate you, guide you, or push you. You have trained yourself to be your own motivator, your own driver, your own leader. That's freedom, internal control. Now here's the spiritual truth. God blesses structure. He blesses order. He doesn't move in mess. From Genesis to Revelation, we see a God of systems, seasons, and discipline. He gave Israel laws. He gave Noah instructions. He gave Jesus a mission and a timeline. So if you want divine favor, you must make room for divine order. Your discipline is the container that holds your blessing. I hear people saying, God, send the opportunity. But God is saying, where is the order to support it? God, send the increase. But God is saying, where is the discipline to manage it? Freedom is not just God's gift, it's your stewardship. And until you honor time, you can't handle territory. Until you master daily decisions, you're not ready for divine destiny. So today, stop waiting to feel ready. Stop hoping for a life you're not building. Get disciplined. Set the time, honor it, protect it. 1 hour every day, no excuses, no drama. Just decision after decision stacked like bricks, building a future that doesn't fall apart when pressure hits. Because in the end, discipline doesn't restrict you. It releases you. It unlocks the life that's been trapped under years of fear, doubt, delay, and disorder. And when you walk in discipline, you don't just find freedom. You become unstoppable. Let me close by telling you this. Your life doesn't change by accident. It doesn't shift just because you hoped it would, or cried that it should, or prayed that it might. It changes when you take consistent, intentional, disciplined action. And the beauty of it is, you don't have to overhaul everything in one day. You don't need to have all the answers or make giant leaps. You just need to give one focused hour every single day to the future God placed inside you. 1 hour to think differently. 1 hour to build what's been delayed. 1 hour to study, to write, to grow, to break cycles, to heal, to move. That 1 hour may seem small to the world, but in the hands of a committed person, and under the grace of God it becomes a weapon, a breakthrough, a revolution. You give God that 1 hour and he'll give you strength for the other 20. 3. You show up with discipline and he'll show out with favor. You take responsibility and he'll release opportunity. Because when God sees you stewarding your time, he knows he can trust you with your next season. So, no more waiting, no more excuses, no more cycles. It's time to decide that your freedom, your future, your family, and your faith are worth more than distractions. The curse can break, the calling can rise, the door can open, but it starts when you honor that 1 hour. You don't need a miracle. You need a moment of discipline, and if you give that hour to God and give that hour to yourself, it won't just change your schedule. It will change your life. Now walk in it. Start today and watch your world transform, 1 hour at a time.